Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from thecollegestudentguide.com. I wanted to talk to you about something that came up in a conversation that I was having with somebody. And what they noticed was that since I wrote my book, Everything You Ever Want to Know About College, they noticed that I had a change in my perspective on whether or not college was a good thing or if it was a waste of time or whatever. And now, let me first and foremost say that I don't think education is ever a waste of time. I think education is necessary. It's very, very important. But what I have learned is that as the world has changed, and as we've kind of understood, economic models and how things work in the world, uh, you know, a college education is a very expensive way to learn. It's a way to. It's also sometimes an inhibited way to learn if it doesn't benefit you directly. So what does that mean? That means that if I spend $200,000 getting a degree from a university where the professors are teaching me straight out of a book and they're giving me skills that won't help me get a job in a pretty racist economic system, then what that means is that I might have wasted my money and I'm going to spend the rest of my life in debt. What one thing people have to understand is that a lot of college students are going to die in debt. And so you have to ask yourself, how am I going to separate myself from that pack? Well, I would say that some of it comes down to whether or not you are able to navigate the system in a way that benefits you. First and foremost, you start off by not overspending when it comes to getting an education. State universities are much cheaper than private universities, and so I think that should be considered, particularly since some private schools are charging insane amounts of money. Second of all, I am a big believer in learning things that are going to guarantee you opportunities to really make more money. So if you are going into the economic system and you're black, you know that there's racism. You know that you're not going to get the same opportunities that white people get. And so what that sort of means is that that same degree may not get you the same pay that you might get if you were somebody else. Also, if you pick a bad major that doesn't have a high pay rate to begin with, then you're going to be stuck with a lot of debt and a very low income. And so I think that, for example, if someone's going to college and they're getting a degree in engineering or they're going to medical school or law school, in some cases, then that seems to make sense to a point. Even though I know a lot of doctors and lawyers who are not happy, doctors who are not getting paid what they used to get, lawyers who can't even get jobs. So it's just not as simple as it used to be. And what I am believing is that the best pathway is to learn from people who know what they're doing and learn how to be an entrepreneur. Because if you're an entrepreneur, that gives you a really good plan B that allows you to have a backup just in case. The economic system doesn't give you what you thought it was going to give you, or just in case you enter into a field you don't like, or just in case the field that you enter into doesn't have any jobs available, or just in case you get saddled with a ton of debt and have to make a lot of money in order to overcome that debt. There are lots of parameters that can go wrong in that process. And so the best way to screw yourself or screw your child when your child goes to college or when you go to college is to not really have a clear plan on how you're going to keep the debt low, how you're going to get rid of the debt, and how you're going to make sure there are opportunities for the child after college. I see people doing things like going into the military because there are guaranteed jobs there and they have some student loan relief and also they help you with your tuition. I think that's a good thing to a point. But then sometimes we also forget that in the military, that means they own your life. That means that they can send you up a hill to die, and ain't nothing you can do about it. They'll court martial you if you get out of line, if you don't do what you're told. So some people are okay with that, and I applaud that. I mean, we need good soldiers, but not everybody wants to be a soldier. And if you're not cut out for that, that may not be a good way for you to pay for everything. So, when people have asked me, do I think college is a beneficial thing or a waste of time? I would say that it would be entirely beneficial if it were free, right? If college were totally free, then college would be a no-brainer. My book, Everything You Ever Want to Know About College, everything I said back in 2004 would be totally true. I'd be totally fine with that. But given that it's not free, You have to weigh the benefits against the costs. Also, you have to kind of just really think about it as a person of color. What do I need to always make sure that I'm in a position to be safe and empowered? So let's think about this. Okay, I don't want a lot of debt, because a lot of people that get left behind economically are the ones that are in debt. I don't necessarily think I want to work for somebody for my whole life, or at least be forced to, because the jobs are disappearing, and sometimes when you're black, the stress is huge. I want to have earning potential. I want my money to be up. I want to have chances to make a lot of money real fast. Well, the best way to do that is working for yourself. You don't get that by working at a job. It doesn't mean you shouldn't work at a job. It just means you have to have a plan B. You have to kind of think broadly about it. Also, where can I get information and education the cheapest? Well, universities are not bad. They're a lot of fun, but there are less expensive ways to learn really valuable stuff. I've learned better information on the internet than I ever learned in school. Now, I'm not saying that going to school wasn't good for me. It was good for me because I became a finance professor. When I first started at Syracuse, I was making six figures. I was the highest paid assistant or associate professor on the entire campus. I made hundreds of thousands, probably over $1 million from the degree that I got in finance. So it worked out for me because I was in a field that had a high salary and lots of job opportunities. But, a lot of people don't have that. So I think you just have to balance that. I think that if you just sort of follow, the herd, then what's going to happen is they're going to lead you to slaughter like they're leading everybody else. Right now, they got millions of students out here that can't pay their student loans back, who living with their mom and daddy now because they can't afford the debt. So, do you and your child want to be in that situation, or do you want to kind of break out of the box? Well, I'm telling you, there are ways to break out of the box. And also, the class that I teach at the collegestudentguide.com, I go through a lot of this. I talk about, everything I've learned over the past 25 years of teaching college students and teaching online as well. And there's a lot of stuff about the college process, a lot of stuff about the economy, a lot of stuff about life that you just figure out over time. And these are things I didn't know when I was in my 20s. And I'm not a dumb person. I was teaching college at the age of 22. So some would say I was, I'm kind of a little smart. I don't know. So maybe this information can be helpful to you and your family. If you're interested, go check out thecollegestudentguide.com. Maybe that'll be something that benefits you. So anyway, take care, guys. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. I will see you soon. Peace.